It is time. It is time for another abomination to be spewed forth onto the internet from my mouth. I'm going to do the thing again where I talk without any particular idea as to what it is that I'm supposed to be saying. I guess it's going to be a life update because my life is so exciting and fun and full of updates. And I wish they would stop. I wish things worthy of a life update would stop happening to me. But lately, most of the things that are worthy of a life update are things that I've been doing more so than things that have been happening to me. Actually, okay, there's a really funny story that I hope I remember to tell. If I do tell it, I'm going to tell it by the end. No, I'm going to write it down. I'm going to write it down so that I don't forget it. So that I literally cannot fucking forget it. You guys, trust me, this is so worth the 2 seconds of your time. I'm just gonna go ahead and scribble an X onto this paper. Surely that will be a sufficient reminder. Okay, so, a girl walks into a therapist office. The therapist says, "Do you know what trauma-informed therapy is?" And the girl says, "No, why is that important?" And then 6 months pass and the girl doesn't get anything out of therapy because she's too fucking stupid to understand that like 90% of her problems are derived from trauma. And then at some point, a breaking point is hit and the girl comes back to therapy crying, saying, "Wait a minute, that's what's fucked? Oh." Basically that's been, my life, I guess, over the last couple weeks, ever since I started this whole like breakdown slump, which honestly, it's like partially a breakdown, partially, I think last time I called it a spiral of recovery. Yes, that's basically what's going on. I am wearing a tank top. Do you like that? This is a very ambitious look for me. Typically, I will pair this with something. And I have also these. I have joggers. Joggers, tank top, and lesbian button down is usually my go-to outfit, and I only have one button down, so it looks like the same outfit every time because it literally is. I even literally wear the same boxers, and yes, I still wear boxers because no, I'm not going to stop wearing boxers. I'm also not going to stop using men's rooms because urinals are amazing. I'm sorry. I'm gonna keep doing it. Honestly, I've been on a little bit of a gender journey lately, not gonna lie. I don't think the gender exploration is done for me. I think there's a whole, you know that episode of The Simpsons where they show up to a hotel in Japan and they end up sleeping in the entryway because they don't know that the walls slide like doors and there's like a whole rest of the hotel left, so they just sleep in the entryway for the entire time. That's me with my gender. I'm feeling like there's a whole gender back there that I haven't accessed. I'm close. I'm like 85 to 90% on the dot so far. Zero regrets so far. Going to keep doing HRT, loving HRT, but there might be a little bit of a non-binary twist to this whole thing, and I'm going to figure that out. I probably, in all honesty, it's just a little bit of fluidity, and this is going to dissipate the second I smoke weed, but every once in a while I'll have a few days where I'm just like, I'm okay with being a little bit masked today. That's no big deal. Maybe that's just me having more self-respect and me being more confident in myself. I don't know. Still hate my fucking face though. Whatever. Doesn't matter. That's not what we're here to talk. Actually, we're here to talk about whatever I want, including that. But I kind of want to talk about trauma. And last video, someone made a comment saying something along the lines of like, describe trauma without saying you're describing trauma. I don't remember what it was. I think I pinned it. But they were spot on. A lot of what is wrong with my life and has been haunting me for the entire, duration of life, is mostly trauma related. I'm realizing that did someone clean? My friend must have cleaned my room while we were here because there's all the garbage that was on the floor. Because yes, there's always here's a little production secret for you. All my videos, you don't see it in frame, but there's always garbage on the floor. Always. Literally fucking weeks worth of garbage on the floor. I'm a fucking disaster, okay? If you think that I am not a disaster because I edit out the disaster, no, everyone's a disaster. Your creators that you like online, your trans and whatever other niche creators, their lives are a disaster, and they are putting forth the absolute best they have for you to see, but know that when they go home, it is probably as fucked up and out of control as your situation. Unless your situation's good, and like you keep your room clean and you're a functioning person, in which case it's highly unlikely that the YouTube algorithm has recommended my videos to you, because absolutely nobody that I have met and talked to personally that has discovered my videos has had their shit together, if I'm being completely honest with you. But that's fine, none of us have our shit together. But the thing is, the cool thing, the cheat code, the life hack is that you and me, we're aware that we don't have our shit together, which is great. Because that's how you improve. That's how you improve. And back to trauma. Here's a little improvement for you. I called my mom this week and essentially said, fuck you, just like in general. I was just like, I think you should go to therapy. And then she was like, I don't think it's your place to say that. And then she was like offended. And then I was like, well, listen, when I say that because, I mean, if you don't do that, I am not going to be present in your life going forward. If you can't put forth that basic energy to, and by the way, I haven't talked about my mom before on the channel. I guess I could go into it, but basically she was kind of a bitch. She's one of those parents who, like, it's complicated because, like, she clearly kind of loved me to some extent and, like, did some things that were cool, but for the most part she made my life a living hell, and she made my sister's life even worse. So I'm getting a TikTok, everybody, a TikTok message. Should I check it now in the middle of recording? Yes. Oh, someone just liked my DM. Should we become TikTok friends, you and me? Just kidding, no we shouldn't. I don't add people on TikTok, don't ask. So I called my mom. I said, fuck you. She said, fuck you back, pretty much. But more so crying, and trying to guilt me. Ugh, she tried to do the abusive ex-boyfriend thing, and she was like, well, do you remember any good times we had together? And I was like, are you fucking kidding me right now? That is like such a token manipulation tactic. Like, holy shit. If you are talking to someone and trying to have a serious conversation about how they've hurt you, and they try to reach into the past for anything positive at all, they are holding against you as collateral positive experiences. And positive experiences are kind of a given. When you put two people in a place together and, like, they don't hate each other to the point where they literally fucking kill each other, it is bound to happen that you will occasionally have positive experiences. That does not negate the trauma and the fucking bullshit also, okay? So don't let parents and ex-partners and ex-friends and whatever get in your head with that kind of stuff. I know I said I'd stop giving advice I'm not qualified to give, but come the fuck on. Don't let people do that shit to you. And I'm mostly talking to myself here, because I let people do that to me from time to time. And mind you, I speak like a victim here, but really the only person that I've ever allowed to completely traumatize me is my mother. I've been the aggressor in all other trauma-related situations, if I'm being completely honest with you, because, you know, they say hurt people, and I have certainly hurt people. I took my childhood trauma, and I hate this. I took it into adulthood, and I have been a terrible partner and friend to basically everyone that I have been around in adulthood. And it has taken losing basically everybody to realize, oh shit, I'm a bitch. And I can go into that in more detail another time. I would like to do a whole video about trauma and how it affects you and how it affects me, I guess, and how it's impacted my behavior and my perspective, and how hard it's been to shake myself free of, and I say I shook myself free, I think I needed the help of other people to shake me free from the trauma shroud that was draped over my whole life. It really feels like over the last couple months I just snapped awake and realized, like, oh shit, people don't behave like this. People shouldn't feel like this. Like, you are deeply fucking fucked up, dude. Like, oh my god. So yeah, called my mom, said fuck you, go away, and so she probably is gonna go away and stay away, I guess. I'm flying down to see her for Christmas, I guess, so, or I'm seeing the rest of my family and she's gonna be there, so we'll see how that goes. Like, comment, and subscribe. Christmas update, maybe, travel vlog. That's going to be probably painful. But the good news is, my dad is spectacular. Love my dad. Hung out with my dad earlier. It was great. He he bought my sister and I a bunch of, like, socket wrenches, like whatever you call it, sockets, and like the things you put them on, you know? I know things about tools for sure. But yeah, he got us like a whole like set of like craftsman like shit. It's kind of poggers. I mean, I don't really know how to use it for anything, but I guess if I ever need to like try to fix my car and fail, I can use those tools to fail at fixing my car. That's great. So yeah, I don't remember what I was really talking about going into this whole rabbit hole that I've gone into, but pretty much it has become increasingly apparent to me recently that trauma has been the theme of my entire life, and that my behavior and my actions and my feelings and things have been very strongly colored by it, and I am still poking into that rabbit hole, trying to figure out what degree of my shit is trauma and what degree of it is like all the other candidates for things, because there are other things that are potentially up. I don't want to say wrong with me, because these are not things that I think are wrong with people, right? Things like ADHD, autism, not things that are wrong with you. If you have ADHD, if you're autistic, those are just like, I think we're all pretty much on the same page. No, we're not all on the same page. You guys surprise me in the comments all the time when you're talking about like your perspectives and like the people around you and their perspectives on things. Sometimes I forget the whole world isn't like enlightened, but basically being neurodivergent isn't a bad thing. It's only bad if you live under capitalism, and guess what? We live under capitalism, so it's bad. Anyway, these things have caused problems for me, and I'm trying to figure out what is trauma, what is the rest of it. I don't know. Working on it. But I guess I just figured I would let you guys know that I'm on to something. And the further I go, on one hand, things are not terrifyingly bleak anymore, so that's cool. But I still have no self-confidence and no faith that I will be able to ever fucking, I guess, function in society and provide for myself like an adult. But I'm working on it. And I feel more hopeful than I've ever been, but it also hurts more than it ever has. So I don't know. I feel like, and I think this might be, again, a trauma thing, like, I feel like the more I realize, the more the adrenaline kind of dies down. Like, I was kind of numb to it. Like Left 4 Dead, you take like the adrenaline shot or whatever, and just kind of like your vision change. If you've played Left 4 Dead, you know. If you haven't played Left 4 Dead, I don't think me elaborating is going to help you any. But it's basically like that. It just wears off, and then you're like, shit. I was on like overdrive like my whole life, and now it's just like I don't have that energy anymore. Like I'm starting to feel my body now. And part of that is getting old, and part of it is HRT. Oh my god, speaking of HRT update, it's been 10 months. I should just do a whole video on that. No, I shouldn't. I don't want to fucking do that shit. I don't care. But I will tell you guys that I got switched over to bicalutamide. Bicalutamide? I don't know how we're pronouncing it. But I got off the Spyro like yesterday, and so far, nothing crazy. I do feel slightly less dehydrated, but I'm hoping to feel more dehydrated as I replenish my hydration. It could take a few days. If you are, by the way, if you are someone who, this is a complete fucking sidebar, but I like to sing. If you're someone who likes to sing or wants to learn how to sing, a lot of people don't know this, but you need to be like very hydrated to be a good singer. And like it takes several days of like decent hydration to get to that point. I don't know which of you need to hear this. That's a very, very select subset, but stay hydrated. You know what? Stay hydrated and I just remembered. I'm so sorry. That's probably really loud. I just remembered the thing though. It's related to hydration. Okay. Guys. So I had a telehealth appointment with my regular non-brain doctor, my normal doctor that prescribes my HRT. And I did not want to talk about this at all, especially on the channel, but it's too funny not to. Basically, I have been doing this funny little thing lately where I cum blood inexplicably. Well, it's very explicable, and I will explic why. Can you do that with English? I don't think you can. But I was like, so doc, why do you think I'm doing that? And I shit you not. I was thinking that she was going to be super worried. She was going to be like, oh no, we need to like look into that. But no, she was like, have you been using lubrication? Have I been losing? No, I have not been using lubrication. I have not. I guess that's what I need to do apparently. And also I need to hydrate better. We're running tests just to be sure, but pretty much everybody stay hydrated. And just know that when you're 10 months on HRT, things are more fragile than they used to be. You can't do what you used to do with a post-HRT set of hardware, apparently. I don't want to elaborate too much more on this, but yeah, my hair keeps getting in my fucking mouth. Yeah, that's been a fun adventure. I was super worried about it. Now I'm not as worried about it. Cut's probably fine, but I probably do need to drink water and not, have you been losing? She basically was like one step short of prescribing lube the way she was saying it. Like she was so like she knew that I would be laughing about this for days when she said that. And it's clear that she's seen this before too. So, anyways, long story short, I don't cum blood anymore because, I've stopped, I guess, doing the things that make you do that. Cool. I guess. I hope it's done. we've talked about this for entirely too long. I keep glancing at the time. It's been 15 minutes. I don't know what percentage of that was trauma, what percentage was cum blood, and which percentage of that was everything else. But for those of you that survived this video, thank you for surviving this video. I know it's tough. I'm gonna include a tiny little Patreon update here at the end for those of you who are still somehow on the Patreon. I'm not, obviously, since I'm not editing these videos, or I'm not editing them much, I'm not putting Patreon things at the end, even though the Patreon says that I will. Don't go sub to my Patreon, because I'm going to be scaling back the stuff significantly. I'm basically going to be taking my hands off of Patreon completely, and if you want to support me on Patreon, fine, but here's the thing. I struggle with like executive dysfunction or whatever. It is very difficult for me to do tasks even if they are easy. For example, the Patreon rewards from August are still sitting on my desktop. They are completely done. I just have not gotten around to emailing them yet because it gives me anxiety, okay? So basically, I'm scaling back all the Patreon stuff. There's literally no reason to subscribe to me on Patreon unless you just want to give me money for some fucking reason. I might occasionally post things. I'm not really sure. It depends how many people are there and how much they seem like they want stuff. But yeah, so if you are subbed to the Patreon and you haven't really been paying attention to it, that's kind of what is going on over there. So feel free to unsub. I would like to thank everybody so far for their support. It's actually super fucking helpful right now. But yeah, I just can't keep up with it. It was a taller order than I thought. You know, when I was first making it, I was like, oh yeah, I could do drawings and thank you notes and update videos and all this crazy stuff. No one's going to sub to it anyway. I'm not going to have that many people to give stuff to. And then I got an overwhelming amount of support. Like my conversion rate, like viewer to Patreon, is absurd. It is absurd. It's ludicrous. Like, thank you guys. But also, keep your money, because I'm not really giving you much value there. If you really want to support me, just like, comment, and subscribe. Like, if you're still watching this at the fucking 17-minute mark when I've been repeating myself for, you know, a solid chunk of your day, 20 minutes, that's a pretty big chunk of your day. You're doing plenty. You're literally doing plenty. Anyways, goodbye everybody. I'm going to leave you now, and be strong. Be safe, be smart. Actually, don't necessarily be smart. Smart's overrated, actually. So, yeah. I'm gonna click that end button. The problem is that I gotta reach over and grab them out. So we're gonna have this little awkward encounter where I'm doing this, and you're over there, and I'm over here, and he's in there, and we're out here. And if you get that, God bless you. Good night. Bye.